Yo, what's good? It's Drop from ProducerPolish.com. Thanks for checking out the video. I wanted to go over something really important today. I wanted to go over automation and how I use it and how you can be using it for your mixes. Automation is really important. It should be used in almost all of your mixes because you're going to want to pinpoint certain places in a song or in a beat where you want a specific effect to happen. You know, whether it be a delay, whether it be a volume change, a mute, things like that. Like if you look here in my beat track, I already laid down some mutes. I automated those, you know, and it makes it really nice and really creative for me to be able to go through and automate certain things. I can do it right on the fly. I don't have to go in there and write stuff out, you know, and make these little dots myself. I can just go in, hit the button, and really feel it out. So that's important. Automation is going to help you feel out the effects and put them in specific places. So that way you're really getting creative with your mix and what you want it to sound like. So there's a few modes that you can be in. I'm going to go over here and we're going to do some automation on this master track here for the verses. By the way, this is Young Sire's track that I have lined up, and he has a verse all the way through. The automation that I'm going to write in this video isn't going to be really relevant to this mix, but I just kind of want to show you the different modes and bring to your attention how it works. So you have the read, pretty self-explanatory. The read mode is just going to read the automation that you already have written. If you don't have any automation written yet, then it's just going to, you know, read whatever you have it set at. So right now I have my fader set, so it's just reading, you know, where the fader is. When I put it on touch is actually gonna only turn on when I touch a fader, when I touch like a mute, things like that. And when you let go of, say, a fader, it's actually going to go back to where it was originally at. So right now I have my fader set. This line right here is where my fader is set. If I were to enable touch automation and I were to go ahead and touch the fader, you'll see that it will write the automation, but as soon as I let the fader go, it's going to go right back up to the line, to where I already had it set. So that's really useful, especially if I'm trying to just write, you know, a little bit of a dip in volume. Like a nice thing to do is like when the drums drop out, like say in the beginning of this song here, you notice that they don't have a lot of volume compared to the rest of the beat. So let's say that someone was rapping over this portion of the beat that's a lot lower in volume than the other pieces. If I needed to, I can go in and go ahead and adjust the fader just a little bit while it's riding out through the lower parts of the beat, and then as soon as I let the fader go, it's going to go right back up to where I had it set for the louder parts of the beat. So it makes my life a lot easier to use the touch, and that way I don't have to really worry about over compressing stuff. I can actually just use the volume knob itself to adjust how loud the vocal or how loud the instrument is. So really important to use touch. It's one of the more popular ones. And then we also have write and latch. They're pretty similar, but the main difference is write is always recording. It's always going to be on, and as soon as you hit play, it's going to be recording automation for as many different things that it can. Latch, on the other hand, it'll only start recording the automation when you touch the fader or when you touch the effect that you want it to adjust. So let's say I was doing some volume automation and I already had some written down, and I didn't want to overwrite what I already had down. I just kind of wanted to change it towards a certain piece of the verse. I would maybe use the latch, so that way I don't erase any of the stuff that I already have written, and as soon as I touch that fader, then it would start recording, and then I could use it as a regular write tool, and it won't have to snap back to wherever I had it set before when I let it go. So that way if I have a long stretch of automation to write, instead of me holding the fader there the whole time, I can just kind of set it to where I need it to go, let it ride out, and then set it back to where I want it to be whenever I'm done with the automation. So I'm going to go ahead and write some automation with the volume. I have this track lined up right here. We'll go over touch first, and I'll let you just see kind of how it gets written. So pay attention to this line here, and we're going to go ahead and move this fader up and down, and then notice as soon as I let it go, it's going right back to where it was. So right back to where I set it. So if I want, say at this part of the verse I needed it lower, I can lower it, and then bang, I don't have to worry about getting it exactly where I had it set. It's already going to go snap back to where I had it set. So very, very useful. Let's go over right first. So it's red instead of white because it's already going to record. So as soon as I hit play, it's now recording automation. You can see the red line there, and then I can go ahead and set things up, you know, here and there. You can go ahead and you know, write some automation, and it's going to stay there, you know, wherever I set it. You know, if I wanted to set it a little bit higher in certain spots and just let it ride out, it's going to do that. Now the latch is only going to start recording when I touch the fader. So we'll let it play, and if you take a look at the automation that I already wrote, it won't affect that automation until I actually touch this fader here. So let's let that ride out. You can see my faders now following the automation that I just wrote. And let's say, oh, I'm going to fix that right there. You know, it's not snapping back to where I once had it, but now it's recording it because I touched a fader. So latch and write, they're really similar. Basically, write is recording all the time. Latch is going to start recording as soon as you touch the effect that you want it to record. And then, of course, touch is going to snap back to wherever you had it set originally. So that's the main modes in automation, and you'll find these modes in all programs. Even video editing programs, they have automation you can write. You don't have to be using Pro Tools. FL Studio has it, Reason has it, Logic has it. Every digital audio workstation that you can use and get your hands on should have some sort of automation. They might not have all the modes. They might not have the touch mode. They might only have like a write and a latch mode. It's different for every program as far as that. But most of them are going to have all the modes, and you're going to be able to use them to do certain different effects. So if you wanted to set up like an EQ sweep, then you can go ahead and turn your automation on. Go ahead and grab one of the EQ knobs and write that automation in, and then let it, you know, let it be an effect in the song. So that way you can turn the EQ on with automation, have it sweep down with the automation. Here, I'll actually bring it up and show you. So this is the EQ for the beat. What I'm going to go ahead and automate right here is my low pass filter. So I'm going to automate the on and off switch, which is called bypass in my program, and in a lot of other programs too. And I'm also going to automate the frequency, so you'll be able to hear the beat and then watch the automation. I'll also bring it up here so you can watch me and watch how it gets written. So here we go. I'm gonna play the track here. So let me go ahead and set my my mode up. I don't want to necessarily use touch. I'm gonna use latch. So now that I have my mode on, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the EQ on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start writing some frequency automation here. Hang on, let me just do this one more time here, so you can actually see. Pay attention to this line here. So yeah, it keeps freezing up because I'm recording it, but I think you're getting a pretty good picture of what it can do. And you can use it on anything, and that's where you can get creative. You don't have to just use it on EQs and volume. You can use it on any effect that you want. Like sometimes I'll use it on my delays. Like actually this track right here, I actually have a lot of delay mutes written. Let me go ahead and put everything back to read so I don't change anything. And you can see that I wrote a lot of mute automations here for my delay. So every time that it's up, it's actually on. So anytime that you see these raises here, these on switches, that's where it's going to echo certain words. So that way I don't have the echoes running behind the track the whole time. You can do that with reverbs too. and the main thing is just get creative with it. Like, figure out what can I do to really make this pop and really make the effect that I'm using specific to the song. So we'll leave it at that one on this video. This is just kind of the basics of the automation. Definitely start experimenting, using them, getting creative, and I'll go over more advanced techniques in another video. Hopefully you like this video. Definitely subscribe to the channel, send me a message if you have any questions, and we'll rock out on the next one. Peace.